everybody. My name is Marina Maddow, and I am the DACC's program assistant and the secretary of the People First of Marion County. I have been a member of People First for the past 6 years, and I am a student at Pierpont, and I am majoring in business. 2 years ago, I took an intro of communications class where I learned about speaking and communicating. Today, I will be teaching you some of what I have learned about how to write a great speech and a good presentation.
In this video, I'll share public speaking tips for beginners. So if you're just getting started in your stand-up speaking experience, this video is for you. So let's unpack the details. Hello there and welcome to this channel, Communication Coach. If you've never tuned in yet, this channel is here to help rising leaders increase their personal impact so you can lead the people around you with more excellence. And today we're talking about communication skills specifically. If you haven't had a lot of experience doing stand-up speaking, I'm going to give you some do's and some don'ts that'll help move you in the right direction. And as we talk about these do's and don'ts, I want you to pick out which ones you think would help you the most, and feel free at any point to comment in that section below the video. So I said do's and don'ts. We're actually going to start with the don'ts and then give you the do version of it. So that's the way we'll organize it. So the first pair goes like this. Don't ramble and get long-winded. Anytime a speaker is disorganized and weaves all around, it's very hard to follow what he or she is talking about. And instead what you want to do is give a nice organized and concise message. That means you have to take the time beforehand when you're preparing to create a nice introduction, body, and conclusion. Make sure you have clear main points and there's a transition statement between each main point. Your audience is really going to appreciate an orderly presentation of your ideas, and it's much more likely that they'll remember what you said, and really that's the whole point of speaking to them in the first place. The next don't is don't look with your eyes in the wrong places. You want to not look over people's heads or not look at the floor and not stare at the ceiling or scan around like that. What you want to do is look directly into a person's eye long enough to finish a thought, and then move on and look directly into the next person's eyes long enough to finish a thought. One public speaking teacher told me, one thought, one look. In other words, about a sentence or a half a sentence, and then move on to the next person. Now, this is very difficult to do if you're not used to it. It can feel very awkward looking right into someone's eyes, but you have to gear up for this because that's what audiences want. We want people to connect with us. If you're not looking into our eyes and making us feel like we're part of this, then you're not going to have much of an impact. The next thing you want to do is don't clutter up all your notes with too many details. A lot of times we're tempted to jam our notes or our PowerPoints with everything we want to say. But the result is when we're nervous in the moment, we end up just locked into our notes and looking down the whole time and reading and sounding really stiff, really wooden, and you're not going to, again, connect with people. So what you want to do instead is pare down your notes so that you can just have a conversational style with your audience. And again, as you're practicing, you have to whittle down those notes so that all you have is like talking points, like a little grocery list of items that you're going to talk about. And it almost forces you, or at least frees you, to connect with people, to look up, and to have a nice normal conversation with them in your natural personality. The next don't is you don't want to load up your slide with all complicated animations and text. And one of the reasons is you don't want to stare at it and read from it. The other reason is that it's very hard to follow what's going on if your slides are jam-packed with detail. What you want to do instead is make sure your slides are nice and clear and simple and help you make whatever point you're making in that particular moment. A rule of thumb that I like to use is if you're spending more than about 2 or 3 minutes on each PowerPoint slide, then you're probably wasting your time. And I don't recommend using more than a couple of slides per presentation anyway if you're a beginner, because people tend to over-rely on the slides and load up each single slide with way too much. The next don't is don't fidget. Don't fidget with your hands. Don't fidget with your feet. Don't pace back and forth aimlessly because you're nervous. What you want to do instead is have nice, confident posture where you stand in one place for a little while. And then if you want to move with a purpose, move, stand in another place for a while, and then share another part of your message. Move for the purpose, stand still, share some of your message. Don't just pace. Have nice, confident posture. Same thing with your hands. You want to use gestures and emphasize your ideas with your hands. You don't want to fidget and put them in your pockets or play with a pen or do anything else weird or distracting like that. That's a big part of how you come across non-verbally, and I recommend that when you're practicing, you work on this as well. And the last don't and do is how you use your voice. What you don't want to do is speak too softly, use a lot of fillers like and and so. What you want to do is have a confident voice where you speak loud, like to the back of the room with a nice clear volume. Aim for the back of the room, because think about it, you have to reach those people. The other thing you want to do is emphasize your key words with the sound of your voice, and also pause after you share a key idea or a key thought. Pause for a minute silently. Don't fill it up with an or an The pause is much more effective. So here are some do's and don'ts, some tips for beginners. Again, as I mentioned, where do you see yourself in here? Which one do you think would help you the most in this list? I would love to hear your comments in that section below. So thanks, God bless, and I will see you in the next video.
For researching your audience, a target audience is a group who is listening to your presentation. Today, my target audience is the people first of West Virginia. It is important to know your target audience so your presentation is clear and your audience can learn about your topic. It is important to know how long your presentation is supposed to be so you can plan for it. My presentation today is supposed to be a 45-minute long, so I had to have enough information so I can fill that time. When giving a presentation, you want to avoid clutter. Clutter can be lots of notes or sentences on each slide. Too much information can be for the audience to focus on. You have to know about your topics so you know what to teach about. Some places can be at a library, in person or online, or a trusted website. It is best to try to avoid sites like Wikipedia because not all information is fact-checked, so you don't know if it's true or not. Okay, once you completed the first 3 steps, you are ready to write your speech. By beginning an outline. An outline is a way to organize your thoughts. Beware of your tone. You don't want to be too soft or too loud, too fast or too slow. Talk to the audience like you would talk to a friend. Speaker notes can help you to remember what to say or points to make. Be specific so your audience knows what you are talking about. Using shorter sentences can make it easier for the audience to stay focused. Using a selection of your presentation tool. Using a presentation tool can make your presentation more interesting and grab the audience attention. For my presentation today, I picked the green design to match the color of the People First logo. And how to make a public speech. If you read your speech from a paper or screen, you are not making any eye contact with your audience. Practicing can make you remember your speech and feel more comfortable speaking. I like to mention on the last few slides, visual aid can help your audience attention. It is important to be comfortable while you're giving your presentation while still looking professional. Avoid being stiff in your speaking or standing. In conclusion, you just learn how the good public speech. Now it's up to you. Create the best speech for your upcoming class or work, and also good luck. Also, I have one more video of a girl who with Down syndrome does making a speech about don't limit yourself. Well, it X's out my share text.
Hi, teachers in Douglas County School District. My name is Megan Baumgars, and I'm here to help you with your kids in your classrooms, with a disability or without a disability. I am going to show you how to teach your students the right way. I am a special person. When I was in school, I made a lot of friends. I was in regular classes prepared for support. I learned with other students in a regular classroom. I became a cheerleader in high school. I was the first cheerleader in the state with Down syndrome. My cheerleading team went to state, and we went on to nationals where we won our National Sportsmanship Award in Washington, D.C. Since I've been out of high school, I was a fashion model in a Global Down Syndrome Foundation fashion show, and I used to work at the Mile High Down Syndrome Association where I help them with events. I now go to the bridge program in Highlands Ranch where I'm learning how to be a public speaker. I have a lot of skills. I have a lot of dreams. What I want to say is to you, don't limit me. Don't limit me by thinking that I cannot learn in your classroom. Don't limit me by thinking that I always need someone to help me. Don't limit me by having low expectations for me. Include me in all your students in your circle of learning while you are planning for my world-class education. Think about how I have the same needs as our students. We all need life skills, we all need work skills. I need for you to teach me skills beyond reading and math. Teach me how to learn, teach me how to act. Think about what I need to know to be able to do when I leave school. Help me learn to be independent in class. Help me learn to be independent with friends. Help me learn to be independent and safe when we're around our school. Teach me to be independent so I can become an independent adult. I need to work independently. I need to speak up for myself. Don't limit me by teaching me to depend on others. Teach me respect, because respect is give and take. Hold me to the same behavior, expectations as others in your classroom. Teach me how to behave and excel in your class. Don't limit me by making me class mascot. Teach me what you expect from me. Set high expectations, not impossible expectations. There is a difference, you know. You will learn a lot from me. Good teachers teach and learn with their students. I will teach you a lot about yourself. I will teach your students about people with disabilities. If you don't limit me, we will teach our school how to be an inclusive community. You, my teacher, are the person going to teach me power, passion, love, and independence. And I will become a powerful, passionate, loving, and independent adult. So please don't limit me. My name is Megan Baumgart. Thank you for your time today. Have a wonderful new school year.
Okay, since I still have some time, also I can at least know of the parts of the PowerPoint.
The floor is yours, Marina. You're doing a great job.
Yeah,
so whatever you'd like to add, we would love to hear.
Okay, mostly with the translation. 1 second. All right, this is mostly of the parts of the PowerPoint, and this is the translations. You can translate anything parts of a PowerPoint, for example. What? See, these are some of the examples. We're having a technical problem.
Yeah.
Take your time, Marina, and if you don't mind, I'm just going to quickly say what a wonderful video that was that you shared, and it really made me think about being a lifelong learner. I know that young woman was talking specifically about learning in school and expectations of teachers, but it really made me think about expectations for myself and my goals and what I can do to further myself in this world. And I hope that other people that watched were able to take that away as well.
I agree, because that all goes to work as well. If you have worked with other people and you limit what people do and you think, oh, well, we're going to do that, or they can only do this, or they're only hired for that. The high expectations can so that what she said applies, like she said, out into being independent adults. So that was all really good stuff. While that was directed at the school year, that was all really good stuff.
Also, here's some animations you can do with your little thing. You can fade it, fly in, float in, split it, wipe, shape, wheel.
Oh.
And you can do a random bar on it, a grow turn, zoom, a swivel, or even a bounce on it. And also there is other tips you can improve your public speaking skills. Nervousness is normal. Practice and be prepared for your speech. I practiced on Tuesday on Lunch and Learn before the big day on Thursday. I'm doing this at a Lunch and Learn.
Very nice.
Know your audience, because you have to know who you are going to say it to. Organize your material in the most effective way. Well, is to organize and you be prepared on the day you are going to presentate. Watch your feedback and adapt to it in the end. If people are going to comment it. Let your personality do it. talk to like you're talking to your friends or family. Use humor, tell stories, and use effective language. Ask anybody, have you guys did like a public speech before? All right, Doug, and use your voice and hands effectively, omit nervous gestures. Gestures like stiffness and hand shaking. Yeah, that's pretty much in tips. And
How did you decide? Are you ready for questions, Marina? Because I don't want to stop you.
Okay, since I have at least. Does anybody have questions for my presentation and speech?
So Marina, very quickly before questions, I just want to say this is one of the best researched, most thorough presentations on public speaking that I've ever seen. And I want to thank you so very much for taking the time and effort that it's clear that you took to make this so meaningful. Thank you.
Yes, great job. Great job.
Thank you.
What I wanted to ask is, how did you decide to do this on public speaking? Lots of people are nervous and don't even want to do a public speech. You're doing a fantastic job in something that we want everyone to learn how to do. So how did you decide to teach such an important topic?
Well, since I really want to do this for at least for a while, when I did that introductions of communication classes I did 2 years ago. And also I did at least a couple of speeches in that class that year.
Can you tell a difference in your comfort level in public speaking now as opposed to what your comfort level was before you took that class?
Well, I was a little nervous, and it was a little nervous, and then I got to do this class.
Very good. Well, let's open it up and see if anyone else has any questions. Debbie Starkey, can you unmute yourself?
I think sometimes people stereotype someone because they look different.
But we can all be effective speakers. That's a great point, Debbie. Thank you. We're effective communicators.
Yes.
Very good. Next question. While we wait for
Good
someone.
job.
Oh, okay.
She did a good job.
Yes,
You
she
did a
did.
great job.
Thank you.
She did a very good job.
She did. While we wait for other questions, I wondered if you could tell us some of the subjects that you really enjoy talking about.
Well, since it's talking at least of the, you have to mostly of researching your audience and the topic you have to learn, and writing it was very important. I've been also do like Dancing with the Stars and running.
Very good. Any other questions?
How long did it take you to put this together, Marina?
Well, I started with an idea of an outline to then create a PowerPoint, make it. And plus I had a little help with the Disability Action Center.
So there's nothing wrong with getting a little help.
That's smart.
Right.
Were you
Well,
scared?
Well, a little bit. And
How many of you like to do public speaking? Now, because we were watching the screen shared, we didn't get to see everybody. How many of you spoken in public? Because like Tina said that she likes to speak in public. So how many of you like to speak in front of groups?
I do an interest.
How many of you'd rather get a root canal? Public speaking is one of the most difficult things. People are more afraid of that than lots of other things. Afraid of heights and other things. Standing in front of people. So that's why, one, you did a fantastic job, Marina.
Thank you.
Part of this speaking is this presentation. While this is a PowerPoint, this is exactly the preparation that you need to also do if you're going to go meet with a lawmaker. If you're going to go to Washington, D.C., if you're going to go to Charleston, you need to research your topic. You need to use visual aids, whether it's photographs or it is graphs or charts of your data. So this isn't just about speaking to a large group. This could be a one-on-one conversation to sell your idea to somebody. If you want to start a business or you're going in for a business loan or whatever you're doing. So this is valuable information. So any questions about this, because this is one of the things that is a lifelong thing. If you're going to go get a job, it's been said that all of your life is essentially sales. You're selling an idea, you're selling your platform, you're selling your, what you want your idea to a lawmaker, so to have a good sales presentation is important. If you want to be friends with someone and you don't know them, they always talk about you only get one chance to make a first impression. So you want to make sure that you're presentable, like Marina said, and pay attention, make eye contact. So all of these things that she said go right along with shaking people's hands and greeting people. So
although we don't want you to shake hands.
No,
right
not now, but we don't do safely. You're right. But that's what I'm saying. So, and that's another way to kind of pivot and do yes, Lindsay did a speech in Charleston. How was that, Lindsay? Do you want to talk about your experience in doing that?
It was so really neat.
Really neat?
Yeah.
How long did you speak?
But I had to write a speech at first.
Okay, and how was that easy for you to do?
Yes.
Very good.
How did you do research? Talk about how you put that together.
Well, I had to watch a video. Back in the day, they had institutions. And we had it's for PIP, but unauthorized policy making. And I had to watch a video, but I couldn't watch it because it was kind of really sad.
Mm.
And I just tell me what I did when I was little, and what I accomplished.
Oh, very good.
That is excellent. That is excellent.
Doug, can you hear me now?
Yes.
When we was in DC, we had the breakout session, and I spoke on Social Security and the Medicare thing. I thought I would be really nervous, but I guess I wasn't, because I really spoke out against them cutting the Medicare and Medicaid from when I went to see one of the senators. I think one of the ones we went to with Steve and him, and I spoke up, and that was the first time I ever did that. And I was not nervous. I just shook his hand, looked at him in the eye, and told him, do not cut our Medicare.
Very good. A lot of times when it's a subject that we feel passionate about, that it is important to us, it's easier for us to talk about it, but we still need to do our homework, and we need to have our facts and our supporting information to make our story and our argument stronger. And that's wonderful, Tina, that you were able to do that, and Lindsay, that you were able to do that. And of course, Marina, that you're able to share with people the tools that they can use so that they too can go out and speak in their community.
Yeah, that is great. And another thing is, Marina had a set amount of time, but it's not how long you talk, it's what you say. There's a lot of people who can say, okay, I talk a lot. you can communicate a lot in just a few seconds that some people would take 10 minutes to say and not get any more information out. So make sure that especially if people are, well, actually I could relate that, and I won't get too far off topic, but in newspaper writing, one of the things that they used to get angry at me at the radio station was I like to give too much detail, and it's a thing called burying the lead. So if the lead story is Doug brought Hershey chocolate bars today, I would do things like, we've got some great delicious chocolate that's going to be, that I'm going to be bringing on one of the, and I would talk about that, and it's by Hershey's. When I should have said I brought Hershey's chocolate. So that's the lead story.
So it's called an inverted pyramid. And so what you do is you say the most important thing first, and then you back it up with details from most important to least important. And if you run out of time and you have to stop here, that's okay, because you got the most important details up to there. So you start with the most important and you work down to the least important when you put your information together. And if you do that, you don't bury the lead.
That's true. And the reason why I was just reading this over the weekend, the reason that happened is because while we've got all this great communication and internet, maybe you have poor cell service. Maybe you have enough time to say, I have a flat tire on Interstate 77 near Mineral Wells. Boom. If I say, well, I'm cold and I'm hungry and I can't get anywhere, can you come get me? I need some help, and been out here for a long time, and then your cell service cuts off, you didn't get the chance to say, I have a flat tire, please come get me. So that's why it's important to give the most information. And that all started from years ago when they were doing communications, and maybe the communication will be open for a short period of time, or in newspapers when
there's a finite amount of
space, and then some brand new story comes in, the editor could simply cut off the last few paragraphs of the story because the main body was at the top. So that's why it's important to always give the most information. So if I'm hungry, I need to say, I'm hungry and I need something right now, instead of, you know what sounds good? I really kind of like pizza, without ever getting around to the fact that I'm hungry. So I've buried the lead of the story. So,
and the other important part about that is if you give too much information and it's not important to the topic or the important part of what you're sharing, people actually tune out. So we have to be careful that we give the most important information first, because people will remember that, and then not provide too many details that really don't have to do with what's important.
And now, it's not important who said this, but there was a political campaign several years ago, and the consultant, the person running for a particular office, said, well, I want to talk about this and this and this and this and this. And the consultant said, no. If you say three things, you said nothing, because people will tune it out. Stick with your one topic that you're trying to get across. Like if you go talk to a lawmaker and you want a bill passed, and you talk about that bill and keep on topic and get it in the lead, you've got it. If you spend a bunch of time in saying, well, while we're talking about that, let me talk about cows. And let's talk about this over here. You've completely lost. So like she's saying, it's a way of stay on topic and don't bury the lead. So I know that's a lot of technical information, but, please.
Sure.
Uh-oh. Or can you come over here, because that feeds back.
Hey everybody, this is Leah. I'm an intern at the ARC, and I've just been sitting in the conference, so I appreciate hearing from you all. But I just wanted to say I went to a conference recently about social policy and advocating for social policy, which is what you all are doing when you go to legislators and advocate for the things that you want done in your community. And one thing they had advised us is that when we go to lawmakers, just as with public speaking that you're doing, is to have a visual aid. Just keep it very simple with one page. And why that's important is that after you're done speaking with them, it's something that they can keep with them and refer back to later so they don't forget about you. And it can be, like I said, just one page with all the main points that you have, maybe some statistical points like data, like this many people are experiencing this problem. And that can be a nice thing for them to keep from you, so that they can remember the things that you talk to them about, because they talk to so many people and they have so many issues to address. That's just kind of a tip that I got that I thought I'd share with you guys, because I thought that was a very helpful a tip with meeting with your lawmakers. So that's just something I wanted to share with you all.
So if I came to you, you would rather read one page than
Right,
this
and
thick
that's
novel.
they have very little time to spend, and that's why you want to be succinct in your speech with
Well, I
them.
want you to know all these things. You see?
And that's why
I like
one
to see
page is
all
good.
these things.
Yes. So I just wanted
Okay.
to make that point.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Well, once again, Marina, thank you very much. That was an excellent presentation. And Doug, we have some evaluations now.
Oh, yes, we do.
You're welcome.